Hello friends, welcome you all to my new video. Today's topic is RNA interference. RNA interference, which is abbreviated as RNAi, is a process of gene silencing and the inhibition of gene expression takes place by RNA molecules. The gene expression is through its product or the enzyme it produces, and here the small double-stranded RNA molecules degrade the messenger RNA. So they block the translation. Ultimately, the protein synthesis is blocked. This process was initially known by different names such as co-suppression, post-transcriptional gene silencing (PDGS), or quelling. That means that the silencing of genes was observed even before the concept of RNAi. Andrew Fire and Craig Mello discovered the mechanism of RNA interference in 1998, and they published their findings on Caenorhabditis elegans in Nature. Their work was recognized very quickly and they got Nobel Prize in 2006. It is said that they launched a new field in RNA research. It has a great potential not only to uncover the gene function in many organisms but also in treating human diseases. This technique is very precise, more efficient and stable than the antisense RNA technology. I have discussed this antisense RNA technology in a separate video. There are various non-coding RNA molecules that are formed from DNA. Since they are non-coding, so they do not form any protein. Let me tell you a little about the various non-coding RNAs. If there is a normal gene, or you call it a coding gene, as per the central dogma, it forms messenger RNA first and then translation occurs and protein is formed. So this is a normal process which we all know. But many of you might not be knowing that there are such genes also which do not form messenger RNA. These are called RNA genes. Instead of messenger RNA, what they do? They form non-coding RNA. This non-coding RNA can be single or double-stranded. These can be divided into housekeeping RNA and regulatory RNAs. Just like housekeeping genes, these RNAs are also constitutive and are required for the maintenance of a cell. The examples are tRNA transfer RNA or rRNA ribosomal RNA. Now come to regulatory RNA. Regulatory RNA, on the other hand, are the ones having regulatory function and they control the gene expression at various levels. These can be short non-coding RNA. If they are less than 200 nucleotide, then they belong to this category. Or they can be long non-coding RNA if more than 200 nucleotide in size. In this video, we are focusing on short non-coding RNAs. The examples of short non-coding RNAs are siRNA, miRNA, shRNA, small nucleolar RNA or snRNA, piRNA, etc. So you see, there are many parallel pathways of gene silencing, but most studied ones are siRNA and miRNAs. In this video, we are mainly focusing on siRNA. siRNAs are small interfering RNA. Si is for small interfering, or you can also call them short interfering RNA. They are non-coding class of RNAs. We have just discussed this. These are double-stranded and are around 20 to 25 base pair long. Of course, they are a little different from microRNA, which is another very important class of this non-coding RNAs. How they are different? siRNAs are found in lower animals. As I said, it was discovered in Caenorhabditis, which is a nematode. And besides, they are also present in plants. but they are not found in mammals as in microRNA. MicroRNAs are found in mammals. One more difference is that siRNA can target only messenger RNA of one type, whereas miRNA is capable of targeting over hundreds of messenger RNA types. One important fact about siRNA is that it is fully complementary to target messenger RNA. If you see microRNA, you will find it partially complementary. That means having imperfect pairing. Now let us see its structure. Here a schematic representation of siRNA molecule is shown. This siRNA is a well-defined structure. See the molecule here. This is a short double-stranded structure and have a 5' and 3' end, 5' phosphate end and 3' hydroxyl end. It is also having two overhanging nucleotides at 3' end. This is unique about siRNA structure. We will now discuss the mechanism of gene silencing by siRNA. siRNA is formed by cleavage of long double-stranded RNA. Besides, hairpin RNA also forms siRNA in the cell. The enzyme which is required for the cleavage is known as dicer. Dicer means to cut. It belongs to RNase 3 family, which recognizes double-stranded RNA. So it cleaves double-stranded RNA into short fragments. It also facilitates the activation of RISC, which is a protein complex. So after the activity of dicer, we get small fragments of double-stranded RNA. These are now called as siRNA or small interfering RNA. Or you can call them siRNA duplex also because they are double-stranded. This siRNA then gets incorporated with many proteins. So let us see what are these proteins. Argonaute proteins play the most active part. Argonaute proteins are the family of proteins found in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. They have been found to be responsible for RNAi in eukaryotes. Out of many, Argonaute 2, or often known as AGO2, is exclusively involved in RISC. Besides Argonaute, other associated proteins are also found. Trans-activating response RNA binding protein or TRBP is one of the proteins often found involved in this phenomenon. Others may be slicer, DMP, and many other have also been reported. Studies are going on. RISC or RNA induced silencing complex. The full form of RISC is RNA induced silencing complex. This is a multi-protein complex which facilitates the cleavage of messenger RNA. This complex has dicer, Argonaute, and some other associated proteins in it. Now, siRNA binds with RISC. The Argonaute is a RNase H type of protein. It is important to note here that it acts upon one strand only. It doesn't act on the double-stranded structures. So we'll see later that it will degrade the single-stranded messenger RNA. The unwinding of siRNA duplex takes place. These two strands are known as passenger strand and guide strand. The passenger strand is not needed here, it is degraded, and the guide strand remains attached to it with its 3' end. And you remember the 3' end has two nucleotide overhang, so it is attached from that end. This you can see in figure. One strand is attached and that strand is the guide strand. This strand or the guide strand is antisense strand for messenger RNA. So what it does? It scans the messenger RNA in the cell, and when it finds the messenger RNA, it aligns the complex or RISC on the target messenger RNA. Argonaute present in the complex cleaves the single-stranded RNA messenger RNA due to its catalytic activity. Since messenger RNA is degraded, hence no translation can take place and gene expression is blocked. Thus, gene silencing is achieved. Now, let's see where this technique can be used or its applications. RNA silencing through RNAi is a genetic regulatory mechanism that targets host genes and RNA species. It has applications in gene knockdown. It can be used to find out the function of a gene by decreasing the expression of gene. That is what knockdown means. Reducing the expression of a gene has implications on expression and activities of genes that are in the same pathway. So, by this method, by this technique, the pathway analysis can also be done. Then it can also be used in functional genomics to find out the gene function and interactions. There are certain methods to check the functions of differentially expressing genes. siRNAs can be a great source for confirming the old studies and hypotheses. Researchers are exploiting siRNAs in their drug development processes and as therapeutic agents. siRNA suppresses the replication of numerous viruses and has significant impact on validating targets for a number of cellular processes and diseases such as hepatitis A, hepatitis B, HIV, and many other viral diseases. It is also being used in cancer researches. RNA interference has been found to be more effective than chemotherapy. Then this technology can also be used for the treatment of Alzheimer and Parkinson's disease, which are neurodegenerative diseases. It has also become evident that siRNA molecules have the potential to induce the immune system, innate immune system. So there have been some studies related to stimulation effect also. So this is all about siRNA characteristics, mechanism and applications. One of the biggest challenges to siRNA based therapeutics is intracellular delivery of this molecule. Transfection, electroporation, nanoparticle based and viral mediated delivery systems are used, but better methods are actually required to save siRNA from degradation and target more specifically. So thank you all for watching this video. If you want to appreciate my efforts, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.